Confidence doesn't begin on the first tee. It begins with how you move and how you think. Welcome to the 8-Week Golf Edge for Women. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 8-Week Golf Edge for Women. I'm Janis Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf, and we have SL Gillespie with...
Hello, everyone.
Well, and we're on episode 3, the beliefs running your game is what we're going to be talking about. So I want to cover, though, what your body might be telling you when it comes to your golf swing. And there are some big golf myths out there that, one of them is that in every swing issue is a swing flaw. And that definitely is not the case. Your golf swing can only do so much and do what your body allows you to do. And this is where, this is why I say lessons are great for people to take. I'm a firm believer that you should be taking professional golf lessons so that way you can actually learn how to play this amazing game, especially when you want to use golf for business. However, in those lessons, the golf instructor is going to want you to be able to swing a certain way, get certain golf positions, but there's sometimes your body doesn't allow you to do those certain golf positions. And what happens is either you don't have the mobility to be able to do that. And what I find with a lot of women is they don't have a lot of strength to be able to do that, especially the older women. And if you're not in a strength training program. But what happens is that can all, well, first of all, that can all change. We can always make our body stronger and more mobile. So do know that, but know that what you're dealing with today is your body can compensate. So if you are trying to learn something new in your golf swing.
Okay, wait, stop.
What?
Trying. We're not trying anymore. Do you remember we had the trying conversation?
Oh, yes, we did. So what did I say?
You said about if you're trying to do something. So I'm jumping in and do you want me to give the try conversation for the benefit of everybody listening?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let everyone know I'm not editing this part out. We're just gonna keep on going. So I told
Right.
SL, call me out on my shit. And if I say try, she's gonna call me out. So she's calling me out. So go.
Okay. So your brain attaches meanings to words automatically without you even thinking about it, literally. And the thing about the word try is it implies effort, stress, doing something, probably not going to get your outcome. Like the whole, if a friend tells you, oh, I'll try and be there by 5, what are you saying to yourself? Oh, yeah, right. It's not going to happen, right? If you have a loved one that the cardiologist comes out and says, like, well, I'll try and save your son's life. Like that doesn't really instill much confidence, right? If the doctor is saying, you know what, I'm going to do my absolute best to save your son's life, that's a different conversation. So when you're trying to get the ball down the fairway, when you're trying to touch your nose, when you're trying to be more flexible, all you're doing is programming yourself is that I'm going to make an attempt and it's probably not going to work out. I'm probably not going to hit the target. I'm not going to make the goal because I'm just trying. And there's that whole Star Wars, try or do not Yoda. There is no try. It's like if you were to try and pick up your pencil, right? You do or you don't pick it up. So it's getting out of that trying mode. And I'm air quoting because every time I talk about a word that is of that has a detrimental effect on your brain, body, play, life. I like to be really precise in the words I'm using. So we are no longer trying, we are doing. So you can do your best. I'm going to make an attempt. I'm going to give it my best effort. I'm going to take a run at whatever it is to give your brain, your body, your physiology, your brain specifically, a different direction. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing it. That's why Nike said just do it. Nike didn't say, well, just try it.
Right? I love that. So great call. So
okay, yeah.
you're no longer going to try to do the golf swing. You're going to attempt to make a better golf swing. And so the great thing about golf is Yeah, we can always move forward and making our golf swing better. So that's perfect. Okay, so back into our golf swing and the golf lessons. So there's certain positions that the golf instructor may want you to get into, but again, your body just may be limited mobility wise or strength wise. But again, we're able to change all of that. But there are different areas that will limit our golf swing. And the first one is hip mobility. And it's very important that we have mobile hips in our golf swing because when we swing, that's where our powerhouse really comes from is the hip area. So our hips need to be able to rotate. When we take the club away, our hips need to be able to internally rotate when we take the club back. And then when we follow through, we also need to be able to have internal hip rotation when we are following through on our golf swing. Limited hip mobility often shows up as losing distance. So if you're someone who doesn't hit the ball very far, you might be using more arms instead of using your whole body for that golf swing. But also, if we don't have good hip mobility, it can also affect our balance and our consistency as well, and that consistency with making good contact. Many women assume that just when they're getting older, they're going to lose their mobility and stability, but in reality, it's just our bodies just aren't getting the movement that we need. But we can definitely train our bodies at any age. Promise you, at any age, you're never too old to be able to improve hip mobility. So your hips don't stop moving because you age, they stop moving because we stop asking them to move. So keep that in mind. Uh, Also, sit again. I'm going to talk about this on every video. We sit too much as a society. We're in at our desks. We're in the car, driving all sorts of places. Our hips end up become just more stuck, and we don't want them stuck for sure. But again, we can always change that. Okay, so you're also going to hear me talk a lot about thoracic spine mobility. Your thoracic spine is in your upper back, towards your upper back. And this area is very overlooked by golfers. And we have a tendency, so many golfers end up with low back pain because they try to rotate from their lumbar spine, their low back. Well, guess what? Our lumbar spine is not meant to rotate hardly at all. It is meant to go forward and backward, to flex and extend. And so understand that our thoracic spine, when we're hunched over at a desk all the time, guess what? We're getting just to that hunched mode. We're always looking down at our devices. Our poor thoracic spine needs to be opened up and have us extend behind us a lot. And check out episode number 2 because I go through a bunch of exercises that you're able to do for thoracic spine mobility. But just know when you can rotate well in your golf swing and have thoracic spine mobility, you are going to have a better backswing. You're going to end up gaining distance. You're not going to hurt your low back when you can rotate your thoracic spine. And we all want to be able to hit that ball farther down the fairway consistently, down the fairway. And actually, dis does distance matter? Yes and no. At the same time, if you're a beginner golfer, your whole goal is just to hit the ball up in the air and down the middle of the fairway. Every time you can hit it up and down the middle, that's going to be great. The last area that I want to target though for today's video is shoulder mobility. If we don't have good shoulder mobility, then your golf swings can become very limited. So we want to be able, when we take our clubs back for our backswing, we want to be able to create width in the swing. We don't want our arms to bend. We want straighter arms when we rotate, and that thoracic spine comes into play there. Also, you have nice mobility in your shoulders, nice mobility in your thoracic spine. Guess what? You're going to be able to have more freer movement in your upper body. You're going to have smooth motion with this. You're going to be able to comfortably swing through your whole swing. And you're going to also be able to create speed when you have good shoulder mobility. When you create speed, that's when you create distance. So, and shoulder mobility isn't just about lifting your arms overhead. In episode 2, I went through a great exercise that looked at internal and external rotation in your shoulders. We need to be able to externally rotate our shoulder when we are in our golf swing. So when it comes to good movement in your body. We need your hips to have great movement. We need your thoracic spine and your shoulders. So I do want golfers though to stop blaming themselves when it comes to what their swing looks like. So instead of saying I just don't turn, I just don't have that turn. I'm not flexible, I'm not mobile. Try asking yourself,
Uh-uh. What are you gonna do?
oh, I'm just going to ask myself. I'm not going to try. I'm going to just ask myself, does my body have the mobility to make the swing I want? What changes can I make so that way I have a more mobile body? So, okay, SL, thank you for that twice in one video. Obviously, I still need to work on that, but I'm glad you called me out because I asked her
All
to.
right. Well, actually, in video two, you said it 3 or 4 times when you were exercising, yet I didn't want to break your movement, so I sucked it up for that episode. However, and yet, I'm not in this one. I couldn't stand it anymore. So anyway, so you know what? This is so cool. So much of what you said. That was a great segue into what I wanted to talk about with beliefs in your fitness game. So, like you broke down the three mobility areas that matter most, right? Hips, thoracic spine, and shoulders. And like, here's what I want people to notice. Like the restrictions, like didn't happen overnight, right? Like they developed slowly, mostly unnoticed over years of the movement patterns. Like your body just kept repeating, and then all of a sudden one day the range wasn't there anymore. And like beliefs work exactly the same way. Like you didn't wake up one morning and just decide to believe like you weren't athletic enough or coordinated enough or that golf like really wasn't an option, for someone like you. Like those beliefs, they got layered in slowly too. And so just like the mobility restrictions like kill your swing, like the limiting beliefs squash your game before you even step onto the course. So here's a bit of a reframe I want to offer for both of these. So when Janice teaches you like to work on hip rotation, and I believe she said this and I'm repeating it, like she's not saying your hips are at fault. What she's saying is that there's more range available to you. And that's exactly what we're doing today, with your beliefs. Like we're not fixing what's wrong. And here I am in my air quotes again, um, because I so desire for you to move out of the fixing what's wrong way of thinking, right? So we're not fixing what's wrong. We're just expanding what's possible. And like the main point of this is like, so the mobility work is creating your physical range. And then belief work creates more mental range. And you really, you do need both to play your best game. So taking this to the course, because this is where your unconscious beliefs, what you don't know that you don't know, that do the most damage. So, many women really that I work with that, who hold back from using golf as a business tool, they're not being held back by their handicap or the fact like they don't even have one, right? They're being held back by a belief that they've never questioned. And the three beliefs I hear most often, like I need to be better before I can use golf for business. Meh. We need a wrong answer buzzer. Right? Okay. So here's the thing. No one is waiting for you to shoot par. And if you only take away one thing from this series, I like tattoo this one on your forehead, inside your eyelids, on your wrist. So you see it all the time. They're looking for someone they enjoy spending 4 hours with. We did talk a little bit about that in episode 2, and I was like, I knew that I was going to cover this in episode 3, so I didn't really elaborate on it. And yet, that's really what they want is who do they enjoy spending 4 hours with, right? And so, the other thing that I hear a lot is I don't want to slow anyone down. Okay. So the women slowing things down, they're the ones who show up like underprepared or completely unprepared and like disconnected. And, you're already doing the work. You're watching these videos. You're going to learn what you need to learn. And that's already different. You're preparing. And then the other one is, golf isn't really an option for someone like me. And I was like, really? Like, when did you make that rule, right? Like, you're here, which means some part of you like already knows like golf could be something for you. And really, like all those statements, like those are simply your BS, your belief systems. And I will call you out on your BS all the time. So like just like once upon a time, you believed in Santa Claus, and that really impacted your behavior, right? So the belief systems that you have, your BS isn't always true. And bit of a spoiler alert, like make sure there aren't any kids in the room, because I'm going to bust the one on Santa Claus. Like it's not true, right? And yet it's BS that we all bought into at one point in time. So the one of the exercises here, here's your takeaway from me today is like think about one belief that has kept you off the course or like held you back while you were out on it, right? So you're going to write it down. Handwriting is a different brain activity than at your computer. So you're going to actually write it down and then say it out loud. And then just ask yourself, like sit with yourself for a minute and say, like, okay, so what would I believe instead if I knew I belonged, like with my peers, with my coworkers, like with the executives, like what would I believe instead if I knew I belonged on the golf course? Okay. So if then you know what you'd be believing if you belong there. Okay, we're going to call that your possibility belief. So write that one down. Okay, because the belief that you're acting from really determines everything. And I'll say all the time, it's like, is that a Santa Claus belief, or is that true for every person on the planet? Because if it's not true for every person on the planet, it's probably a Santa Claus belief. you know so the belief that you act from really like it determines everything, like the rooms you walk into or you don't, the invitations you accept or you don't, the conversations you start or you don't, and the ones, everything you talk yourself out of before they even ever have a chance to happen. So really, like the take home thought I want you to consider from this is like the women who use golf most powerfully for business, like they don't have a better swing. They have a better story about who they are on that course. And they decided to believe it before they had the evidence. So, like Janice is giving you a body with more range. The framework that I'm teaching you is giving you a mind with more range. And what's that saying about your mind is like a parachute? It works way better when it's open. So when you have body with more range, working with a mind that works more range, working together, like that's when your whole game shifts, like on and off the course. So that's the first piece that I want to offer as far as like your beliefs and your thinking and whether it's helping you get on or stay off the golf course.
And I'm just thinking about because my husband plays a lot of business golf, and there's times that I would get invited to come, even though they were doing their business thing and I wasn't part of their business. But I'll tell you, the business guys are impressed when women
Yep.
just just know the rules and can play. You don't have to be like you don't have to be a great golfer. And I just want to keep insinuating that you don't have to be this great golfer to go play golf with the men. And go ahead, you want to
Yeah,
say
I'm
something?
good. We're jumping in. I'm like, wait, I got something to say. Surprise. So I'm an LPGA education partner, right? So the LPGA actually has a stat, and it's like 50% of women said that they surveyed across all industries and age groups. 50% of women said that just having a knowledge of golf helped with their career more than just actually being able to play golf. Because, when you think about the guys come back from golfing and you're able to have a conversation with them. So, yeah, so it isn't even really about like how well you play. It's like how much you know, how much you show up. We talked about that in one of the other episodes. Like, are you in the spiral or are you like, okay, where's the beverage cart girl? Right?
And sometimes that beverage cart girl
Yes.
could be the perfect thing you need
Yes.
just to take the edge off if it's going to help
Yeah.
you stop
Yeah.
you from going into a spiral.
Yeah.
Take the little edge off. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, SL, this was a fun episode. Everyone, is there anything else you want to add to
No,
the?
I think that's it. Like I know we've got more episodes to do, so I'm doing my best to stay on topic
Okay,
for this
perfect.
one. Yes.
Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for joining, and we look forward to seeing you on episode 4. Everyone
Bye.
have a great day.
Bye.